Guam is now the most heavily defended island in America, and most people have no idea it is already happening. Right now, on this small Pacific island, the United States is quietly testing the exact technology that will one day protect the entire homeland. This is not a future plan. This is not a concept on paper. Missiles are being fired, radars are being linked together, and the man in charge of the whole Golden Dome program just walked the site in person less than 1 week ago. So why Guam? Why would America choose one small island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean to test a system meant to defend the whole country? Stick around, because the answer says a lot about where the next major conflict could happen and how seriously the US military is preparing for it. This video breaks down exactly what is being tested on Guam, why this island was chosen first, and what it means for the future of American missile defense. If you appreciate seeing how our military stays ahead of emerging threats, and if you respect the soldiers and Marines carrying out this work far from home, you are going to want to hear this whole story. If you think protecting our troops and our homeland should always come first, type America first in the comments below. Let us get that seen. Let us start with where this all began, because Golden Dome did not start on Guam. It started with a promise made at the highest level of government. In January of 2025, an executive order was signed calling for a next-generation missile shield for the United States. The goal was simple to explain, even if the technology behind it is not. Build a system that can detect and stop ballistic missiles, hypersonic weapons, and cruise missiles before they ever reach American soil or American forces overseas. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth called it a historic investment in protecting the homeland first. And here is something important to understand right away. This is not one single piece of equipment. Golden Dome is what military planners call a system of systems, meaning radars, interceptors, satellites, and command centers, all working together as one connected shield. That is a massive undertaking. So before rolling something like this out across the entire country, the military needed a place to prove it actually works, a real-world testing ground. And that is exactly where Guam comes in. Before we continue, take a second to like this video and hit subscribe. It really helps this channel keep bringing you stories straight from official military sources, and it takes no effort on your part. Guam is a small US territory sitting in the western Pacific Ocean, and if you look at a map, its location explains almost everything. It sits closer to potential flashpoints in the Indo-Pacific than nearly any other American territory. Congressman James Moylan, who represents Guam, put it plainly when speaking with reporters. He said Guam has always been a strategic location, going back to Spanish rule through World War II, and now with rising tensions involving Taiwan and Chinese military activity in the region. In his words, this is the hottest area right now, and that is exactly why Golden Dome is being built there first. Moylan also confirmed something significant. An Army battalion is being sent to Guam specifically because of this program. As he described it, this is where the president wants to see the system work, and this is where it is starting. So what exactly does testing look like on the ground? This is where things get genuinely impressive. The foundation of this effort is called the Guam Defense System, and it is being run by the Army's Portfolio Acquisition Executive for Fires, working alongside a joint project office dedicated entirely to defending this one island. Multiple branches of the military are involved, not just one, and each branch is bringing a different piece of the puzzle. The Marine Corps has brought in a system called the Medium Range Intercept Capability, often shortened to MRIC. This system is based on Israel's well-known Iron Dome technology, and it is specifically designed to stop cruise missiles, drones, and rockets. For years, the Marine Corps had a real gap in this area. Ground units use short-range systems like Stinger for close threats and relied on the Army for anything longer range. But out in the Pacific, where Marine units are spread across small remote islands, that gap became a real vulnerability. MRIC is built to close it. This is not just an early prototype either. The interceptor it fires, called SkyHunter, is the American-built version of Israel's Tamir missile. Israel delivered the first batch of these interceptors to the Marine Corps back in May of this year, and the entire program is valued at over $412 million. Lieutenant General Roger Turner, commanding general of the 3rd Marine Expeditionary Force, said this system strengthens the ability to stand alongside American allies and partners, and that Marines are ready to answer the call in times of crisis. That is exactly the kind of dedication that deserves real recognition. Alongside the Marines, the Army has brought its trusted Patriot missile system to the island as well. Both Patriot and MRIC carried out live fire evaluations during a major exercise called Valiant Shield 2026, which is one of the largest joint force training exercises in the Pacific region. Now here is something that might genuinely surprise you. All of these different systems, built by different branches at different times for different purposes, now need to work together as one single defensive shield. And making that happen is not simple. That job has been given to Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works division, a name that has been behind some of the most advanced aircraft in American history. Their task on Guam is building a unified command and control system, essentially the brain that connects Patriot, MRIC, and other defense systems into a single shared picture of the battle space. Without this piece, you would just have several separate systems working independently. With it, you get something closer to a true integrated shield. Exactly the kind of system Golden Dome is meant to become nationwide. This is not the only major system involved either. Guam is also home to a terminal high-altitude area defense site known as THAAD, which specializes in intercepting ballistic missiles during the final stage of their flight. On July 16th of this year, General Mike Getline, the director of Golden Dome for America, personally visited that very THAAD site in Guam alongside soldiers from Task Force Talon. He also toured a vertical launching system location at Andersen Air Force Base. When the person leading the entire National Golden Dome program is walking these sites in person within the same week, that tells you how seriously this location is being treated. There's also something called the Aegis Guam system, which connects Navy radar and missile technology directly into this island defense network. In December of 2024, this system completed a major test, successfully detecting and intercepting a medium-range ballistic missile using a radar known as the ANTPY-6. Defense analysts have noted this test was limited to a single target and did not yet represent a full, complex, real-world attack scenario. But it was still described as a significant step forward, proving that these different pieces of technology can genuinely work together, not just in theory, but in a live-fire environment. If learning how these different defense systems connect together is interesting to you, let us know in the comments. It genuinely helps guide what we cover next. So what does all of this add up to? Why does one island matter this much to the future of Golden Dome? Guam is essentially becoming a live, real-world laboratory. Instead of waiting years to build out a nationwide system and hoping it works, the military is proving each piece, radar, interceptor, and command system, directly on the ground, under real conditions and under real pressure. Officials and defense analysts both agree that several of these components need to be fully operational sometime in the 2026 to 2027 window. That is a tight timeline, but the visible progress already taking place on Guam suggests real momentum, not just plans sitting on paper. And there is something bigger happening here too. Every soldier, Marine, and sailor stationed on Guam right now is part of something historic. They are not simply running a training exercise. They are helping build and improve the very foundation of America's next-generation missile shield, technology that could one day protect cities and military bases across the entire country. That is a responsibility worth real respect, and it reflects the same dedication this country has always seen from the men and women who serve. Guam has quietly become the starting point for one of the most ambitious defense projects in American history. What began as a presidential vision on paper in early 2025 is now standing on the ground, being tested, refined, and proven, missile by missile. exercise by exercise. And if these Pacific tests continue showing this kind of progress, this small island may end up playing one of the most important roles in protecting the entire United States for decades to come. If this kind of behind-the-scenes look at how America defends itself matters to you, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss the next update on how this program develops.